Hi, I'm Rugare. Some people say journalism is all about pushing boundaries. I say journalism is about ignoring those boundaries entirely. There's one journalist I know who ignores boundaries, for better and for worse, and that journalist is Stephen Sackur. Sackur was born in England in 1964. He started out as a cub reporter for the BBC in 1986. Like all cubs, he soon got to sharpen his claws, becoming a foreign correspondent. Then, he became BBC's Washington correspondent 7 years later. In 2005, Sackur assumed the role that viewers love and politicians in the hot seat hate. He became the host of BBC's HardTalk. Since joining the show, Sackur describes his interests as roasting politicians alive and speaking in an aggressive voice because the show is called HardTalk. This approach sometimes works well for him, especially in the following clip with Yisrael Medad, an Israeli settler arguing against international law.
Before 1947, there were Jews living here in these areas.
There were no Jews living here.
There were Jews living before 1947.
There were no Jews living in Shiloh, this modern settlement
in
of
Hebron,
Shiloh. There were
in
no
Nablus,
Jews here.
in the lower Jordan Valley, and other places. We have a church that was discovered.
Were there Jews on this piece of land that we're sitting in?
Yes. Yes.
No, there weren't. You just told me the only evidence you have from more than 2,000 years ago is from a hill over there of Jews living thousands of years ago on this land.
Like I said, the word boundary doesn't exist in Sackur's vocabulary. But then again, this isn't always a good thing. Sometimes you just end up making people angry and looking like some insensitive tabloid journalist looking for scandal behind every tree. This is what happened with Max Clifford, who was being accused by the media of making a whole lot of money off a terminally ill client. Sackur's bulldozing techniques pushed Clifford over the edge until Clifford walked off the set, right in the middle of the interview. There's that risk you take as a journalist. You get the truth out of some people when you ignore the boundaries, but you end up pushing others away when you do. I admire Sackur because he's always willing to take risks, and when they don't pay off, well, he just dusts off his feet and moves on. Sackur says that he loves doing what he does, partly because of the adrenaline rush, but more so because sometimes as a journalist, he feels he's a necessary witness, especially when it comes to injustice. He does say that it's possible to become vain and callous on the job. I guess the trick is to find the balance. Feel good about yourself when you've done a good job. Admit your mistakes and learn from them when you mess up. And one thing I've learned from Sackur is be fearless, ignore the boundary. My name is Rugare, and thanks for staying with me.